Hi, I'm OEA President Scott. Tomorrow, time for my weekly update. I want to begin with some shout outs to locals that are continuing to do good work. Of course, advocating for health and safety and student engagement, but also good work when it comes to membership recruitment. The Upper Sandusky Education Association was successful in persuading all of their new hires in their district, plus four people who had previously chosen not to belong to the union, to join this year. It's a reminder to all of us of just the incredible value that we bring to one another during these challenging times. Continue to wish all of you the best as you continue with your membership outreach and engagement efforts. I also want to recognize Dan Greenberg and the Sylvania Education Association. Like many of you, they've been facing a lot of challenges. They've been fighting very hard to protect their members' jobs and protect members' safety and also fight for equity for students. Dan reported to me that every single building in their local, and it's not a small local, had competitive elections for building reps. Members not just want to belong, but they want to be actively engaged. That's a testament to his leadership, but also to the great work that Sylvania is doing, and a shout out to Frederick Pruitt, their LRC, for his support there as well. This week, Governor DeWine announced in his press conference that we saw, at least on Tuesday, the largest single-day increase in COVID cases since July. He attributed that to the reopening of colleges and schools around the state. And in fact, the data show that the significant increase in numbers is with young people. It's a reminder to all of us that COVID is still out there, that we all need to be cautious. We all need to continue advocating for health and safety for ourselves and for our students, and that our state leaders, our public health officials, our school boards, and our superintendents need to be paying attention, and no one can let their guard down. We don't want to see a mass shift to remote learning because we weren't vigilant enough in protecting health and safety. We're going to continue to advocate for good practices based on science, not politics, as we continue to move forward. Speaking of advocacy, there's a couple of important things happening today. Vice President Jeff Wensing is testifying in support of Senate Bill 358, sponsored by Senators Nathan Manning and Teresa Fetter, that would do some important things in terms of testing relief, suspension of accountability measures tied to report cards, freezing voucher expansion, and a number of other things, so that we can continue to stay focused on the needs of our students and not in some really misguided public policy issues tied to testing. Another issue is I'm going to be speaking on NEA's behalf and on behalf of you and all of our members to the National Academies for Science, Engineering, and Medicine, advocating that as they develop protocols for the distribution of a vaccine for COVID, when a safe vaccine at some point becomes available, that educators, education employees in schools across the nation are given a top priority as an equitable plan for distribution of that vaccine is developed. We'll keep you posted on both of those issues as we move forward. One last point before a quick ask and reminder. Recently, I had a chance to sit in on a briefing on some polling data from parents across the country. Contrary to what some people would suggest, there is not a divide between parents and teachers right now. We are united in wanting what's best for students, in understanding the real dilemma that exists because of COVID, and also in advocating for health and safety. Parents generally see themselves as on the same side as educators, just as we see ourselves as on the same side as parents. Don't let anybody try to convince you otherwise. And finally, as we get, again, another week closer to the election, this week, Secretary of State Frank LaRose just mailed out absentee ballot request forms to registered voters across the state of Ohio. It's a good reminder to make sure that your voter registration is up to date. And I'd encourage all of you to complete those absentee ballot request forms Put a stamp on the envelope, send it back in so that you can get your absentee ballot, so that you can vote early as soon as early voting starts at the beginning of October. Whether you choose to drop your ballot off at a Board of Elections or mail it in, and again, as long as you're doing that early, you're going to be very safe in doing that. The key is you want to be able to vote. So much is at stake in this election. Thanks for all you're doing. Make it a great week.